then all of these things. It's one of them, there's a government official who was he was in the police force, and there's a lot of police everywhere. They call them police, but they're really military, and they all carry machine guns and shotguns. You know, there's a lot of different than our definition of police. And he was like over a whole bunch of police in a region, so he was like a commander. And John was preaching in his town, and he arrested John and had him thrown in jail. John had to pay a fine for preaching the gospel. Now here we fast forward 7, 8 years later. I go and visit him again at his office. He's now in the same district John is, but the second time I meet him, and most people that come out there never come back a second time, so I was very impressed that I come back. And now he's driving Mark and I around in his car to go to meetings. Furthermore, he brings his daughter, who's in her first year of college, and she wants to be his son, and his major is business economy. So the young people in college are great translators, because most people don't speak in English at all. And so we're using him to translate, and after the second day, he looks at it and goes, I want to be a pastor.
Whoa, great.
And then his father, after the second day, goes, I want to quit my job. Can I go to work for you, John? And he works for the government. I mean, just the effects and the ripple, and all we're doing is being there.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything. We never asked this guy anything. We never preached anything to him like, you got to do this, or you got to do that. He's just driving us around, and we're just loving him.
Amen.
So there's power in that love. It says that God draws men to him by his kindness. And as we focus on the mind of Christ, putting on the mind of Christ every day and say, Lord, I want to be like you. I want to be kind. I want to have power where you say to release power. I want to have joy all the time because you've given me joy to have. All these things he's given us, and we dwell on those things. And as soon as the enemy comes with one of his lies, realize that the promotion, the activation is all right here, because the enemy's trying to defeat what he sees coming, and it's the lie that will defeat it. But when you say the opposite thing is true and agree with Scripture, it's yours.
Amen.
It's yours. You get to walk in it. You get to do it. And that's all we're doing in Wanda. Now, the concept of being given a nation, I can't even wrap my head around. I don't know what it means. Obviously it's not mine. It's his story, his glory.
Amen.
I just get to be there and see it happen, right? As doors open and I'm being introduced to people that I have no way of ever meeting. I'm told you can meet with this person, and I don't even know why. Just Lord, whatever you want to do is what's going to be the agenda here. But watch for Rwanda in the news. Watch what's happening there, because there's a tremendous work going out. But what we need prayer, we need support, we need money. One of the things, and this is interesting, we can get people health care there for $10 a year. Pays for one person's health care. Now, I don't know where the rest of the money comes from. I don't know if it's UN money. I don't know. But all I know is $10 a year. Now, not only that happens, but the more people that we get kicking in on the $10 a year, then it comes through John, and it raises his status politically in the nation. Now, I don't know why. It's just the way it is. John's explaining it to us, and we're going, okay, we believe you, but we don't understand. But it gives him status, so that when he says something, people listen. When he said something before, and it was just a village struck with poverty and sickness and had nothing, nobody cared what he said. But even while we were there, we saw that change in the dynamic. When they heard what was going on in the villages, all of a sudden John's status is going up. Why does his status need to go up? I don't know.
God knows.
God knows. I don't know. John's a humble man. He could care less. I suspect he owns 2 or 3 shirts and 1 pair of pants, because I've never seen him in anything else. The house they're renting, they didn't own any of the furniture. And it wasn't much furniture. I mean, very little. I mean, it's just, he had, after the genocide, and he'd been a refugee, and he'd been passed around nations, and he ended up in Canada, and he ended up going to school there, and then he ended up with a scholarship to go to college in Oklahoma and become a pastor. And they were arguing positions around the United States where he could have a church, thousands of people, and the Lord said, walk away from it and go back to the village. And that's what he did. He packed his wife and 4 kids up and went back with no income and very little support. They get $1,000 out of a church in Canada. It costs the same amount to live there as it does here. I know it doesn't make sense, but it does. So if you can raise, have a wife and raise 3 kids on $1,000 a month and pay rent, I'd like to learn how. But that's the type of human being he is. So, if, we've still got the cards, they're outdated, because a lot of it's done. But if any of you would be willing to, I'd love to see people just do PayPal and say, debit $10 a month out of my account, because you'll never feel it. And that would be 12 people a year you're buying health insurance for a year. It's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
You wanted to share some stuff on. Did anybody have any questions? Did I get the message across?
Yes, you sure did.
I don't really have a question, but what's exciting about what you've been sharing in the last half hour or so is why don't